What is going on, guys? Half Click up here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Felicity Friday. So I recently upgraded to a Cardo PacTalk Edge and I didn't pay for it. It's a very cool story. I'll tell you guys all about it. Here we go. Alright, so this may seem crazy and far-fetched, but to really appreciate how this story comes full circle over in a very extended period of time, I just have to tell it from the beginning. And so this goes all the way back to the year 2014. Alright, so I started riding motorcycles in 2015. But for the year leading up to that, of course, I had to do all the research I possibly could about how to ride a motorcycle because of who I am as a person. And so that's what I did. I learned how to ride a motorcycle through YouTube before I ever put a leg over one. And I know I'm not the only one out there that's done that, but yeah, that's how I went about that. So when I started watching YouTube and learning about riding motorcycles, the first, well, of course, I didn't even know what a motovlogger was, right? But the first motovlogger I came across was none other than the infamous, the man, the myth, the legend, Chase on Two Wheels, okay? Now, when I found Chase on Two Wheels, he had just started his motorcycle review series where he hooks up with Mountain Motorsports out in Georgia, and they lend him a bike and he rides it around and reviews it, right? So he had just done his first ride review of that entire series way back then, and lo and behold, the bike that he first rode for that series was the venerable, you guessed it, Yamaha FZ6R. Now I say you guessed it because if you have been following me for any length of time, you know that this entire YouTube channel was built off of the FZ6R platform. It's why I started this channel. It was the main content production of this channel for a decade, right? I rode that motorcycle for a solid 10 years before upgrading to the R1. But anyways, that first ride review is what persuaded me to buy an FZ6R. And I became a huge fan of Chase on Two Wheels, and I've been following him ever since, all the way through his 1 million sub count extravaganza and all the things, you know. So anyways, fast forward to just this, you know, past couple of months, we go to the Moto America races at Circuit of the Americas every year, and this year Chase on Two Wheels was going to have a booth set up, well, with a couple of other Dallas area based motovloggers, right? But I told my wife, you know, this is my opportunity to meet Chase and to tell him my story and to thank him, you know. I wanted to shake this guy's hand, thank him for essentially getting me into riding motorcycles, because that's effectively what he did. So I made a point to go to his meet and greet, and to start out, there wasn't a whole lot of guys there, right? It was just a handful of guys sitting around waiting for him to start, and I noticed that there was a whole bunch of items on the table in front of him, and there was like 5 Cardo PacTalks. And when I saw those things sitting up there, I was like, well, maybe, you know, they're just sponsoring his event, which of course they were, but I didn't know for a fact at the time that those Cardos were going to be giveaway items. He says, okay, well, it's time for a giveaway. And he grabs a Cardo and he says, who wants a Cardo? And remember, it's just like a handful of us sitting around, and everybody's kind of like looking at each other like, is he serious? And nobody was saying anything. And he's just kind of standing there. And I throw my hands in the air. I'm just like, screw it. I throw my hands in the air. I'm like, me! You know? And so another crazy thing is he looks at me and he points at me and I'm like, yeah! And he hands it to Caleb DeKyrell. Now, if you don't know who Caleb DeKyrell is, he is a Moto America racer. He races for Aprilia. He started out in the Twins Cup and has since moved on to the Stock 1000 series on the RSV4. So he hands the Cardo to Caleb Tyrell, who comes up to me, shakes my hand, and gives me a Cardo PacTalk Edge, brand new in the box. And so here we are, rocking the PacTalk Edge, just like that. Never have I ever, man. So totally random. And have you seen the price tag on these things? Dude, I never had the intentions on spending this kind of money on an up-to-date comm system, which is why I've been rocking the Sena 10S for, well, you know, like 11 years until now. So yeah, there's that. So anyways, I hung around for the entire thing because I wanted to talk to him face to face. And so after it was over with, I approached him at the table, introduced myself, shook his hand, and he and I had probably a 25 to 30 minute long conversation. I kid you not. Pleasantly surprised, man, that his persona on screen is exactly the way he is in person. Totally down to earth, humble dude. And I told him the whole story, and he was like, no way. You know, it was such a good experience, man. It was such a good exchange, and it made me feel really good that I was able to properly thank him, because motorcycling is like the biggest part of my daily life aside from my family. You know what I mean? Like, I commute daily. I mean, I do track days, mechanics work, you know, this YouTube channel. Heck, I really started motovlogging because guys like Chasing Two Wheels was an inspiration for doing that. Gave it a shot, see what it would be like. You know, I've had moderate success on this channel. I mean, there's over 4,000 of you anyways, so I don't know, you tell me. Did it work out? So anyways, that's the story. Chase on Two Wheels gave me a free Cardo PacTalk Edge via proxy by way of Moto America Aprilia racer Caleb Tyrell. So there you go. I told you it was a heck of a story, right? There was a lot more to it than just, yeah, I won a PacTalk Edge. Yeah, it was an entire experience associated with it. A whole ordeal, if you will. So anyways, that's the story, guys. Glad I was able to share all that with you. But that's all I got for today's episode of Felicity Friday. So, smash the like button, subscribe, please. And as always, this has been me. That's been you. It's half click up, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace and goodbye.